Mike Callahan here with Callahan's Corner, where you ask the questions, we answer them live right here on Facebook. So one of the questions that was submitted was talking around when is the appropriate time to have a conversation about payment and when payment is due with your new and existing clients, and repercussions of not paying, actually paying the contractor as well. So got a picture here right off my phone I wanted to grab. This came about when I actually looked at my phone this morning when I woke up on one of the Facebook groups. Gentleman actually had a really good question, and it had 70 comments in the last, say, 13 or 14 hours. So I knew it was a hot topic, and it's something I think as service business owners, we struggle with a lot, at least in the early years I did. The gentleman's question was, why do customers get so defensive when you ask them to get paid? Well, definitely not picking on this gentleman because I have been in that predicament more than a few times. But what I've learned after 25 years running a lawn care and snow removal business in the Northeast is there is definitely a preferred way and a not so preferred way of going out and making sure you're getting paid. So what we want to do is have an upfront, clear expectation. So I'm actually going to open up my screen here to show you an example of one of the ways you can handle this. And some examples right from my lawn care and snow removal company, how we actually handle this. So this is the back end of a estimate template in the software we use. So this is really not software specific by any means. Doesn't matter the software you're using. But the idea is here, we've got a lawn mowing estimate, and it was based on 7,000 square feet. So we're charging $45. We know how long it's going to take and a cost. And then we've added in drive time for this postal code of $8. The consumer, what you're going to see, is going to get an estimate for $53.09. That includes our on-site weed whacking and mowing and our budgeted time. The only reason I bring up the back end of this is your time is worth money as a business owner. Whether you are the owner as a solopreneur out there doing the work in lawn care, home cleaning, or you've got a crew of 20 or 30 guys and girls out in the field. So there is a cost of doing business, and we should account for that. And if you're doing the work, you should be getting paid because you need to pay your employees and vendors. So we need to have some foundational part here. But once we go out and email this out, the idea is I am the new consumer now. I'm getting this email. What I'm going to recommend is best practice. When do we talk about payment? And when it's appropriate is I'm going to recommend you send out some kind of automated email with the ability for the consumer to click the estimate. And I'm going to open the estimate in a minute and show you how we deal with the payment situation up front. What I'm also going to recommend is before you get to the proposal and we start talking about the difficult conversations of payment, we offer something similar to this, like a lead letter, the major 5 or 6 reasons why your business is different. We offer 100% risk-free money-back guarantee. Our trucks are in the field checking the work. We don't insure just the equipment and trucks, but we insure everything on your property with a liability policy of, say, $2 million. We've built systems to not go out and mow and fertilize the same day. We communicate, we advise, we're accessible. These are some of the hitters that I would recommend in there, and some testimonials. And the reason being is we are elevating ourselves, we're differentiating ourselves from our competitors that are probably literally on an Office Max or Home Depot carbon copy estimate, handing their estimates out. We've already elevated ourselves up and above them, and we've overcome most of the sales and price objections in this lead letter. So we've shortened that sales cycle, we've raised a higher perceived value. So now when the consumer goes in and clicks view my proposal, now here is the physical estimate. Now it doesn't have to look like this per se in this test account, but there's some key elements here that I am going to recommend after doing this for 25 years that really should be in there. Now you may have a different spin on it, but these are the things we need to do up front, in my opinion. So first of all, we've got the option for them to say select their service and accept and sign the screen. So we can go in and click lawn mowing. Now I'm not going to recommend this as best practice, but it's a point of proof of concept. I would take the service details and service terms and put them in the bottom of the estimate document. I'll show you where that is. But service details for lawn mowing, if you're doing home cleaning, it'd be very similar. It is $53.09 a cut. It's to include the weekly trimming around the landscape beds, the sidewalks, the building, and paved hard surfaces. The blowing of the surfaces and the blowing off the hard surfaces, such as driveway and sidewalks. When the lawn is being mowed, we are directing the clippings away from the building and trees and landscape beds. This is going to be performed once a week. Service terms. Now we're starting to get into the contractual obligation of getting paid. Lawn mowing contract auto renews each year. Service can be canceled anytime within a 2-week written notice. You'll see in the farther part, the 2-week written notice can be done by either the consumer or the company. So this is where it's going to allow us to raise our prices mid-season if we're not making our dollar per hour goal without being outside of the term of the contract. Customer is responsible for all items, furniture, toys, hoses, pets, etc. And all personal items should be removed from the turf and landscape areas prior to the regularly scheduled day of service. Another financial thing before we get to the payment that I highly recommend in there. The contractor is not responsible for either the siding or anything directly adjacent to the grass area that needs to be weed whacked or trimmed. A lot of times customers will have siding that goes right into the dirt and the grass, and they'll expect us to weed whack up against vital siding. Now, obviously, we're training our crews not to do that, but if the consumer is forcing the issue and they want us to weed whack up against that and that causes damage, we are being clear and upfront and transparent what's not included, what's included, and what we're responsible and what we're not. And this is going to continue down into the payment portion. Another big issue, especially in parts of the Northeast right now, is massive drought. The customer is responsible to call 24 hours to the prior scheduling of the cutting day if they do not want their lawn mowed. If no call is made, the lawn will be cut and the consumer will be charged full price of the cutting. We're once again setting expectations of what this billing looks like. So when we go to collect the payment, they know what's going on. There will be a 50% charge for any mowing skip to cover the contractor's fixed costs of insurance and other costs associated with maintaining the lawn under a weekly contract. In addition, there is a video here that actually plays live inside the estimate, highlighting all of these things. So if they're not reading it, they can visually listen to it and talk and basically have a virtual conversation with the business owner, highlighting what's included, what's not included, your satisfaction guaranteeing what's going to be in there. Now, invoicing detail. Once again, we're going to be very clear of what we're expecting. All lawn mowing and fertilizing is billed on a weekly service with a credit card on file. So once again, we're requiring a credit card on file. Now, what we did in the early days, this has been since updated, is it's no choice. You have to have a credit card on file. But before we went into 100%, if the consumer opts to not have a credit card on file, the work will be invoiced and paid the month before service. So as we implemented a credit card only process and evolved into it, we allowed them to pay a month in advance. I'm recommending at this point, do not do that because it caused inconsistencies of workflow in the office. But it will work. I'm recommending you don't though, go 100% in if you're gonna do it. Any work that's requested to be skipped will either be used as a credit for the next month or refunded per the customer's request. So once again, we're defining if they're paying a month in advance that we still are charging the 50% for the skip up above. Spring cleanups will require a $120 deposit before scheduling, and fall cleanups will also require a $150 deposit before scheduling. Any maintenance jobs, including but not limited to shrub pruning, mulching, bed maintenance, will require a 50% deposit before service performed. That's going to be on the credit card that's required. So we can bill the other 50% as soon as the job's done at the end of that day or the following day. And then aeration, overseeding, and lawn rolling require full payment before the service is rendered, which would be via the credit card. Reason being is we've gotten burnt on one-time services such as aeration and overseeding. If we only required a 50% deposit, chasing that money wasn't worth it. So if you're going to commit and want to get on that fixed tight schedule for those fall or spring season services, you're going to pay us 100% up front, and you're going to have this written contract electronically to protect you as the consumer. Now, the general contract terms we've labeled out here are also going. The customer agrees to pay each monthly amount specified on the monthly invoice on or by the date indicated. So that's going to be for the prepayment. If the customer understands failure to do so might result in immediate termination of the contract without written notice. So once again, we protected ourselves is if they do not pay us and their credit cards on that weekly billing gets denied, we have the ability in the contract to immediately terminate their service. So hopefully they will never get past more than one service, because we're running that credit card every Tuesday from the previous week. Any account that is not paid in full right here, within 10 days, may not be serviced until payment is made. And once the payment is made, if it is more than 7 days past the regular scheduled mowing, there will be an additional charge in the next cutting in order to return the lawn to the proper condition that is manageable. So once again, through transparency, we've set the expectation that this is how we're collecting. This is when we're collecting. If the payment's not made, we will terminate your service. And if we haven't terminated the service for a special exception and it's past 7 days, there's going to be an additional charge to get the lawn back into a regularly maintained situation. In addition, if we were doing check payment for the prepayment, which I don't recommend you do anymore, I recommend 100% credit card only. All checks that are returned to due non-efficient funds result in a $35 per occurrence fee. So we've upfront what they're going to pay if that check bounces. And customers are also subject to reasonable and collection and attorney fees. Very huge here. Most states, if this is included, when we send them to collections, it's covering the court fees and the collection fees. So we're going to get our money and the additional money that it costs us to get our money. There'll also be a 1.5% late fee and an 18% late fee year annually. So double check what your state law is based on those late fees. But I'd recommend getting them up towards the maximum because that's money you need in your business to operate and make your payroll. So question is hand is, when would you have this conversation regarding payment? It is immediate, it's transparent, and we're telling them that we require a credit card on file. If we're making some exceptions, this is what it looks like. If you're past due, here's the implications before we get you back on the schedule. And by non-payment, it is reasonable and understood that you will be possibly terminated with no written notice. And based on the services, we've set certain expectations of either 50% deposit or full payment to avoid historical issues we've had. Now, the consumer is going to scroll down. We've got additional videos that are going to upsell and educate them on our core services. They play live right in the video. If your state requires different contract renewal verbiage, pre-notification, or MSD labels, we've connected those in the actual estimate. So once again, we're being upfront and transparent and aligning with the different laws in that state. But the final part is they're going to go in and click this estimate, save it, print their name out, and hit accept. Now an automated email would go out to them to let them know that we've acknowledged their acceptance of it, and a to-do or task pops up in my office to within 12 hours, basically, or 24 hours, one business day, for someone in the office to schedule that. Now here's the key part. I'm going to hop out of this estimate here, and the product that we're using is Service Autopilot. But when I refresh the browser here, you're going to have an estimate now that is one. It's triggered all those things. But here's the kicker. A lot of times in most states, especially in New York, I believe it's up to about $2,000, a verbal contract is enforceable. But here's the thing. Most collection agencies and most consumers that I'm going to call our deadbeats are not going to pay you because they say they never agreed to it, even if you had the GPS records that you were there every week. What you want to do is have your signature information, time, date, stamped with IP address. And then under the audit trail, under attachment, I've got a printable PDF of just the services I selected with all the verbiage and the electronic signature that I just stuck on there. That is, folks, I will tell you, a slam dunk for any collection agency or going to court. Any person we took to court for collections in my business, we won 100% of the cases because we had an electronic signature and time and date stamped IP address. Some people may think that the verbiage in for the skipping of the mowing, or especially the damage clause, is kind of ludicrous. It's not. We all know consumers ask us things up and above of what we probably would want to do in our service offering. And if that's a deal breaker and they're okay with us weed whacking very carefully up against vinyl siding, we have told them that we are not responsible for it. So when 2 years later or 3 years later, someone comes back and sues you for damaged siding, you have this on file in your system. You can pull it up and send it to them. It's happened once or twice. And this literally within hours stops the litigation dead in its tracks because they have signed a hold harmless agreement for either this or in snow removal. We had the same thing, that we were held harmless for any landscape beds right next to the pavement area or any turf damage. You could elect to have us do it as part of the contractor's repair. But if you went for a base contract that didn't cover turf or fixing, we had a hold harmless clause for damage to those areas adjacent to the pavement. And we also had a hold harmless in there for slip and fall litigation. Folks, people aren't going to stop suing people. People aren't going to stop coming after you for things that potentially are a gray area. I recommend far as your payment and hold harmlesses, they're clear and stated in your estimate, and we have an electronic signature and we on file, and we've got that time and date stamped IP address as well. Those two, the combination, are a deadly factor in small claims court. And your insurance company will go to bat for you each and every time if you can provide that. So comments or questions, drop them below. Callahan's Corner. You ask the questions, we answer them live right on here on Facebook. Want to give a big shout out to Matthew Snyder there in the upstate New York area or mid-state area as well. And if you need a hand with that, Matthew, let me know. But hopefully this was helpful regarding payment and some of the other things I recommend putting in your estimate and contractual documents, especially before going into the fall and snow removal season, as Matthew's probably doing here in the near future. So we'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you again. Callahan's Corner. You ask the questions. We answer them live here on Facebook.